Talk Radio 702. Welcome to the world of exclusive podcasts.
Stand up for democracy. Find out about your rights as a voter.
It starts with you. LeadSA.co.za. Entrepreneurs SA on Talk Radio 702 with FNB.
All right, time for Entrepreneur SA with FNB. We've got our entrepreneurial expert, Pavlo Phitidis from Auric Business Incubator. Hiya, Pavlo. What's our topic today?
Well, today we're looking at the purpose of entrepreneurship. And John, many people forget why they started.
Exactly. Well, tell us the purpose of entrepreneur, a job or a business, eh?
That's exactly right. Well, let's just look at some of our current Entrepreneur SA finalists. A number of them are involved in three corporate activities. The first is the sale of a business. The second is an investor wanting to invest in the business. And a couple of them are looking at bringing on new partners. All of them are suffering from the same issue, which is they cannot agree the value of their business. So the challenge that you face when you're an entrepreneur, well, I started entrepreneurship because I want to steer my own ship. There was lack of meaning in my corporate job. I wanted to create something. I had no other choice. I had a great idea, but that's not all. There's a lot of energy that goes in building a business. And entrepreneurial currency, John, is different to investing currency. It's more than money. It's love, it's sacrifice, passion. It's family, it's friends, it's passion, it's stress, it's depression. It's all those things that make us human. It's a lifestyle choice. Now, if you are going to do that, yes, remember your original idea, but you have to build what we call an asset of value. And an asset of value is something that you as an investor can look at that business and say, yes, I can invest in that business. And if I do so, it's a good investment. And if the owner of that business is not there tomorrow, I still have an asset that I've bought, acquired, or invested in. It's something that most of us as entrepreneurs forget.
Well, because one of the problems, of course, is that the whole business is the entrepreneur. And if the entrepreneur wants to retire to go down to live in Durban, there's nothing left of value and they're not going to be able to sell it, and therefore they don't have the money that they expected at the end. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, it's worse than that, actually. If you're in your business for 10, 15, 20 years, and let's say you want to retire, you want to leave, you want to exit, and you are 50, 60, whatever the case might be, there's nothing elegant about having no value in that business because it is your pension.
How do you overcome that then? It's easy to say. How do you overcome it?
Well, take a different perspective on the business. You need to look at, besides your passion, besides the thing you're creating, besides your vision, you need to look at it practically as an investment. Get some advice. In other words, how would a business like mine be valued? What are the things that make up value in my kind of business? Be it a coffee shop, be it a manufacturing concern, be it a business service business. Understand how it's going to be valued and start looking at what you need to build into creating that value. And then finally, John, just be practical. Look at your business as if you're the buyer and say, would I buy that business? And if the owner of that business were not there tomorrow, what would I be left with?
That is very interesting because so often the entrepreneur, as we say, is the business. Are there steps? Would you bring in people? Would you bring in staff? Would you invest in infrastructure? I mean, a few more practical things. What would the experts advise you if you want to build that asset?
Well, you need to look at your business in the context of the greater business environment. How do I position my business and make it unique and distinctive? Number one. And then secondly, what do I need to do internally in that business to get the business to, in effect, run without me? That's how you do it.
Very interesting indeed. All right. Any questions or comments, you can send them in on an email. We'll pass them through to Pablo. What are we going to talk about next? What are we going to talk about with David this afternoon?
Well, this afternoon, we're going to talk about how you build your business into an asset of value. So if this is the purpose of entrepreneurship, to create an asset of value.
All right. So in other words, what we're talking about today, if that's pricked your imagination, listen in to David then, and you'll take it to the next step.
Fantastic. The topic is the job of the entrepreneur.
All right, the job of the honor. Just go through it we got 2 minutes left. Just go through it one more time, exactly what we're talking about. You start off your business, you got your passion, you got everything is going great. And at a certain stage, you have to look at an exit strategy. That's what we're talking about.
You should always have an exit strategy in mind when you start your business. So you need to run two things in parallel. The meaning and creativity of your business is important. Yes, never lose sight of that. The passion that drives that business is crucial to get you through all the obstacles you will face, guaranteed you will face. But at the same time, you need to have a practical view of investment. For an entrepreneur, John, most entrepreneurs make money. Yes, you survive on that. But you rely on your wealth creation being that business. When you sell it for value, there's capital gain. That is your retirement. It's crucial never to lose sight of that. If you and I get onto a boat in Durban Harbour and we're sailing to Hong Kong and we take 10 days of fuel, food and water, if we don't navigate our course there, 10 days later we're out at sea. You need to remember why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, thank you very much indeed. That's great. That's very interesting. I'd never considered any of that before. That's maybe why I'm not a businessman. That's Pavlo Phitidis. And as I say, we'll listen out this afternoon with David O'Sullivan and for the rest of this week with FNB. Fascinating. 11 to 8.